biggest cosmic middle finger to our earthly BS. And that is due to Saturn conjunct Neptune here at 0 degrees Aries. And the last time we had this happen was at the start of civilization, basically, 6,000 years ago. Somewhere around 5,000 BC is the last time we had Saturn and Neptune fully conjunct at the 0 point of the zodiac, at the first degree of the zodiac. So this is what a lot of people have been calling the Great Reset. And I'm going to give you a bit of a forecast as to what's coming here, what I think this all means if we look at the chart here. But also, you got to know that this week, guys, we have a Mercury retrograde on Thursday, on the 26th. At the same time as this Mercury retrograde, we also have Mars reach its square to Uranus over here. So this is very disruptive. This is bringing a lot of things up and out to be explored and looked at, and this can be disruptive in the sense where the things we were connected to, we thought were easy, are just all of a sudden like, here's a wrench thrown into the machine. So my encouragement for you now is to stay steady and stay strong, and don't overreact to what you see on the outside. That big cosmic middle finger to the earthly BS is Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. You saying, you know what? I know who I am, and I know who I am not. And I'm not going to let changing circumstances throw me off my course. I'm not going to let the way things seem to appear make me insecure about who I know I am. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are manifesting something and you realize that only identity manifests. Go check out my other manifestation channel, Manifest with Chris. You know that only identity manifests. So you are in the I am. I am abundant, right? I always have enough. And then boom, this bill hits you, this expense. And it's the biggest earthly middle finger, right? The biggest middle finger in the 3D saying, you got to pay this. This is going to set you back. Oh, you're going to have to pull out of savings. And you say, good thing I always have enough. I'm not going to let this is a test. I'm not going to let this make me decide that I don't have enough now. And you pay it, and you pay it from this place of, I always have enough. You watch what's going to happen. You watch the breakthrough of manifestation that you have. Or let's say you have what is called an SP, a specific person that you're trying to manifest a connection with. And you've decided, because this is how you manifest, you made the decision that you guys are already connected, and it's all good. And then they text you and say, I don't want to hear from you. I wish you well. I'm not interested in you at all. Goodbye. And you read that and you go, oh, well, I'm sticking to the reality that I chose. I know that it's all working out perfectly. And you still feel connected to self. You don't get into this place of, oh, I'm disconnected now from what I want. Because you may realize that there's somebody actually better for you. But if this is the person that you chose, that you want to manifest, then just stick to, no, they're crazy about me. This is just how our journey is unfolding, and one day we're going to be sitting on the couch together laughing about how this all happened. Okay? The important thing here is for you to stick to your identity. If you want the things that you want to manifest, stick to it. Because on Thursday, on the 26th, Mercury goes retrograde, and everything that we thought is going to change. Everything that you thought it was the way it was is going to completely change. Because a Mercury retrograde in Pisces is a complete reset, a complete review, where you thought things were going down one track, and it turns out it was actually there was a complete different twist in the path. And so, especially like this week, we have Venus in a trine with Jupiter. So there's a flow of love and money and connection. And really, you just got to inwardly know it. Pisces works inwardly. A lot of the Pisces energy, it's inward stuff. It's your beliefs. It's your subconscious. It's things that are happening underneath the surface. Nobody sees another person's heart beating. It's a thing that's happening internally. But it's something you feel when you give them a hug or when you're cuddled up next close to somebody. You feel the heart. Or you see its manifestations. You see the warmth through somebody's gaze. That's coming from the heart. But the heartbeat itself, it's not seen. And like this is Pisces. Pisces is the subconscious stuff that's happening underneath the surface. The digestion of your food. The money that's coming to you that you don't yet see. A big question here that the universe is asking us is, can you believe it before you see it in the 3D? Because some would say seeing is believing, but I think that believing is seeing. Living by mind sight, not eyesight. What you see in your mind is of prime importance this week. Not what you see on the TV screen or on your phone screen or on news headlines. I'm sorry. And all that stuff is very exciting, especially about things that are getting exposed now. This is about a disrupting the old pattern that your attention is on. Mars is in Aquarius. It's trying to reinvent. And Mars is moving fast. It's trying to reinvent how you mentally look at the world. It's trying to shake you out of things. It's trying to give you headaches if you are just chronically focused on something or trying to control a certain outcome. To get you to just relax. Relax how you think it should be or how it's all supposed to happen. And a big thing too here is the sun is going to be conjunct the North Node on Thursday at the same time that Mars is square Uranus and Mercury turns retrograde, and then the moon meets with Jupiter. So Thursday is a big day. This whole week to me is all about Thursday. And then after that, Mercury's retrograding, passes up Venus on Friday. So just understand that the way you think things are going could be a completely different way based on how it appears. That's why you want to stick to the internal reality of the way you've decided it is. I know that sounds crazy, but what's more crazy is thinking that the way things appear is the way things are, when the appearance is always changing all the time. That's what's crazy, is thinking that the 3D reality is what's real. That's why the ancients, the mystics, the Buddhists, the monks, they always pointed out that what's real is what never changes. And that's your inner I am. Pure awareness. It never changes. But what is always changing is unreal because it's constantly shifting. It's like looking at the sand on a windy day and being like, oh, that's the way it is. And then the next day, everything's blown and changed and the sand has completely shifted. And then you go, oh, well, this is the way it always is. This is what's real. And then the next day, the shape of the sand, the shapes in the sand and the way that the sand is, it all changes. And you just keep every day saying, oh, this is the way it is. It's not the way it is. It's just the way it appears. So we really need to get under the hood when it comes to the way things appear. Get under the hood, like Jupiter in Cancer is helping you do here. Get under the hood, take care of your engine, find out what's wrong with your engine. Because once Jupiter comes into Leo, as it will do later this year, it's going to come into Leo. And Leo is very much about appearances. Leo is about performance. It's about play. It's about the drama and having fun. Jupiter comes into Leo at the end of June, beginning of July. And this is going to be some exciting Leo energy. This will be the first bit of big Leo energy that we've actually had in years that's actually like good for Leo energy, where this Jupiter in Leo is going to be supported by several planets, especially the outer planets. Going to be getting a trine from Neptune, a trine from Saturn, which is in Aries. It's going to be getting support from Uranus in Gemini, and even some sextiles from Mars. This is where performance and appearance actually gets a huge glow up in your life. Okay, later on in the year, things are going to completely change. You're going to be so mind blown, especially at how transformative it all is based on how it appears to be right now. Because Jupiter will be opposite Pluto, so it's going to be the biggest transformations ever. And if you are you're setting yourself up for success by being quote unquote delusional, by having complete confidence in self, by just deciding that, you know what, the end that I desire, it's done. That's the way I want it. That's the way it is. That's how I believe. Because it's a choice either way. Or you could just choose to believe, actually, the thing that I fear the most, which I'm imagining right now, which is why it's giving me that fear in the now moment, I hope that doesn't happen. And then you watch as it will happen. Why? Because you're putting your vibratory machine, your body, your mind, you're aligning it all with that fear, the vision of that fear. You're even creating the experience as though it's happening right now, which is what the fear is. You're creating that. So my forecast for this week and for the next few weeks is just be in this Pisces energy, all right? It's Pisces season for the next 26 days. And we have a Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Just be able to flow, to go with the flow, as cares and concerns or bills or insults from the people, the person you want to connect with the most says, I don't want to talk to you anymore. They block you, whatever happens in the 3D realm that is like challenging you. Just let it flow, let it go. Pay the bills. Embrace the fact that your SP blocked you. That just be like, hey, all good. Decide you already have the things that you want and go about your day doing things you enjoy, building yourself up, being with yourself, looking under the hood, finding out what's going on with your engine. Is your engine running all right? That's the thing that's going to drive you into the exact terrain that you want to go down. And just put self first. I know it's hard. But the most selfish thing you could do is the most selfless thing. And this is what we learned with Pisces. That, like the Christ, dying on the cross was the most selfish thing he could do because only he could do it. Only he could fulfill that. And he's now worshipped across the globe. This is the most selfish thing you do and the most selfless because he died for everybody. He made a way. He paid everybody's sins. The debts. All the debts were erased. Now we could all be made new as he was made new. We could all be resurrected from our past sins as he was resurrected. Because he was the perfect one. So it's paradoxical. The mind can't fully go here, but, putting yourself first, being as selfish as you can is the most selfless thing you can do. And you got to kind of realize that before we fully move into all this Aries energy. Before late March, the sun lights up this stuff because Venus is going to pass over this stuff first. Venus is going to hit Neptune March 7th. Very magical day. And then Venus hits Saturn the day after on the 8th. And so early March is it's like our hearts are moving ahead and getting this idea of how to be selfish / selfless. And we're still learning how to navigate this new world, which is built on doing what's right for you in order to create the best collective life. Like being a full individual self. But the sun will really activate and bring these things to life late March at the start of spring. So the start of spring is so crazy because it's activating this new spiritual structure, this new mental structure we're going to see in our individual lives and in the collective. But yeah, it's true that there's a collapse of the old world happening right now. But you as an individual, that just focus on how your old world is collapsing and how that can be a really good thing. Okay? Even if you're losing things now that you judged as being good, Realize that it's making space for something better. Because you're the meaning-making machine. You decide what it all means. That's what this Pisces energy is about. What am I believing about this situation? How am I nurturing myself with Moon and Jupiter in my belief? Sun conjunct North Node. Because that'll determine where you're headed. That's what decides how you're psychically oriented, which will decide where your vehicle drives. Your vehicle of being, of existence. And try not to jump to conclusions too quickly during this time of Mercury retrograde too. That's key. Because as Mercury retrogrades, if we look at the aspects here of Mercury, it's pretty much just going to be working its way to a trine with Jupiter, which is extremely positive, indicating lots of flow. Jupiter's retrograde too. So here we have the trine. It's exact March 8th. Lots of flow. Lots of needing things to flow through your mind. Not try to grasp onto anything too tightly. And receive new insights. Be open to new news. Be open to new apologies from people. Saying, I'm sorry, I don't know why I was so crazy. I don't know why I blocked you like that. I was really going through a tough time, and I thought that by doing that, it would do this for me, and it just didn't. I was all wrong. Just be open to the fact that if people are acting crazy right now, they may snap out of it. And even if they don't, get to the place where vibrationally you're okay. You're okay with all of it. You're okay with people acting crazy, with people blocking you, with people doing all sorts of things. That on the outside you're like, oh, this is terrible. But on the inside just go, you know what? It's not terrible. It's all working for me. Be open to possibility. That's what this Mercury retrograde to me is about. Since the only real aspect that the Mercury retrograde is making is that trine to Jupiter, which is immensely positive. A retrograde with Mercury in Pisces by itself is not positive because Mercury is at fall in Pisces, meaning Mercury doesn't know up or down, left or right. It's like literally being in the ocean and you just got spun around underwater and you don't know which way is up. And if you start using your mind to try to figure out, you're going to start panicking. Because you're like, I'm running out of oxygen. I don't know which way is up. I don't know how to swim up. That's Mercury right now. That's going to be all of our minds. What is up? What is down? What is real? What is false? Is the world run by, these crazy people? Like, can I trust anyone? And you just got to put trust back in self. Relax your body, relax your mind, and you'll start to float in the exact way you need to float. And then you'll look and you'll go, oh, there's the sun. And you just swim towards that. There's my highest self. You just swim towards that. You get to this place eventually where it's like, oh, and you can breathe in and it'll all be fine. This is hope core astrology right now, because guess what? Reality is what you make of it. Mercury's retrograde ends on the 19th. Or maybe it's the 20th. Let's go by the hour to figure this out. Exact. Yeah, on the 20th. Right around 12 p.m. And you know what? It's going to turn direct right on the North Node. Right on this spot, which is revealing our evolutionary direction. So at the end of the Mercury retrograde, it's going to be a big aha moment. Because this is also the time in which the sun is sandwiched between Neptune and Saturn, which is the realization, the bringing to life of this new mental structure, this new identity, this new I am that you're bringing to life here in this new world. And Mercury is going to realize, oh, I can let go of everything. I can let go of all the old world programs, everything I was taught. And I don't need a single thought, actually, to know the truth. Because what exists now, what is the truth, needs no thought to sustain it. Needs no program to keep it alive, no words. You're going to get into a visceral experience of what's true. And I hope that you just hold fast to that. That you remember it. That you don't get caught in thoughts anymore. That you remain in this amazing state of being that says, I am the truth, I am the way, I am the life. Okay? So you got this, and don't worry about stuff. Like, really, if you're worried about things with all this mutable energy here, you are dissipating so much energy that it's a crime. It's a shame. It's a crying shame, you could say. Okay? Really, believe in yourself. Because what's the alternative? Okay? You have everything you need to make this most amazing life. Again, like I started this video, it's the cosmic middle finger to the earthly bullshit. Whatever you see in the 3D realm, that's just the way it has been. But what it's gonna be is based on what you're believing, what you're seeing in your mind, and if you're holding fast to that, if you're saying this is the truth. Not in a delusional way, but so what if it's delusional? So what? It's also delusional if you succumb to fear. Because fear is a delusion as well. False expectations appearing real. F-E-A-R. That's all it is. So, believe in yourself. Believe that God is within you and can accomplish all things. If you have faith. Faith in self. Faith in God. And faith that, everything's unfolding perfectly for you. If you say that, if you believe that, then it is. If you go down a doom and gloom realm, you're using this last bit of Pisces to be in doom and gloom world. You got this. Peace.